welcome to the extra special Friday right here on Dominion Television, the channel of choice. You're welcome once again to Dominion Sports. It's a good, we call it a Good Friday. We're celebrating all of it concerning the Christians right now, and we're super excited to be part of that celebration this wonderful Friday morning. Trust me, we'll be taking you straight into the world of sport from the local front, giving you the update from the MPFL fixtures to look forward in the weekend. Also, let me inform you the FA Cup and also more updates when it comes to the camp of Manchester City and definitely Liverpool. We'll be giving you updates definitely from the world of basketball. Let me inform you also we got the update from the camp of the Super Eagles. We now have a new fixture set for the month of June between Portugal and also Poland. All of this and more on the show right here on Dominion Sport. I am Paul Abe Toluwanimi, and I'm not alone in the studio. I have the Queen of Sport herself, Mabuba, joining me in the studio this wonderful morning, the Friday edition extra special. Also, I have Sanuruddin Alimi, always looking dapper and also ready to give me that extra special feeling of the Friday edition of the show. Let me start off with you, Sanuruddin, top of the morning to you. How are you feeling and what are expectations for your weekend in the world of sport?
Good morning, Toluwanimi. Good morning, Mabuba. Good morning to our viewers, and happy Good Friday to all that celebrates. It's nice to be back here again. It's the weekend. We know it's what precedes the actions that comes from the world of sport. For the past 2 weekends, there were not football on the European club front, but we had from the MPFL, we had Formula One, we had tennis, and we had loads to talk about during the week and international friendlies for Nigeria. And yesterday we talked about the NFF election coming up in September, and this weekend we are going to look forward to having European football back. There's quarter-final in the FA Cup in England, Manchester City and Liverpool. That's the big game for the weekend. And yesterday we got announcements from the NFF for friendlies for the next international window, and very exciting features to look forward to. We have Formula One to talk about, even though there are still stories about regulations and all, drivers pulling out and all. And in the other European leagues, in Italy French Ligue 1, La Liga, the race is on, and this is the running. This is what we are looking forward to. This is the tail end and business end of the season, and we are here to dissect that. And the MPFL as well. The Southwest Derby is happening in Kennedy this weekend. Loads to look forward to, and the horse race is still going on between Rivers United and Rangers International, and we are still looking for teams like Ikorodu City, Abia Warriors, and Shooting Stars, or any of the teams in the top to try and get into the race to talk about that. So that and more we are going to dissect. Now we promised them a little bit of explanation about the NBA, the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, and that we have to dissect that on the show as well.
Come on, I'm loving the extra special feeling. So much goosebumps.
It's extra special. It has to be extra special.
You get so much.
We don't have Thanksgiving turkey to share, but we have football stories and stories to talk about.
Let me start off with you, Mabuba. Top of the morning to you once again. What are your expectations for this weekend? In the world of sports, most especially when you look at the MPFL, the Southwest Derby, what are your expectations for that game?
Thank you very much for Toluwanimi, and to all the Christians, happy Good Friday to every Christian across the world. So regarding the match between Remo Stars and Shooting Stars, I would say that the match itself is interesting, but then I feel that the match itself tells us more about what the NPFL has become, because the matches in the NPFL are more or less predictable now. When teams play at home, they win. When they play away, they lose. But for the match between Remo Stars and Shooting Stars, I say that the real test for Remo Stars is if they will be able to sustain the momentum that they displayed against Khalifa in the previous match that they played. It ended in a draw. So as I mentioned, we don't have a lot of matches left in the NPFL. We have about 6 matches left. This would be after this month. We have just 5 matches left. So if Remo Stars can secure a win at home and they can sustain their momentum across other matches they're still going to play, perhaps we might see them in the season for the 2026-27 NPFL season. And for Shooting Stars as well, they also need the win because they are vying for the CAF Confederation Cup ticket. So it's more or less these two sides. It will be an interesting encounter. There is so much to play for between both sides. So there's still a lot can happen, so we still cannot decide. We just, as I mentioned, they both have a test, and either of them can secure the win at the end of the day.
All right, let's see who's going to secure the win at the end of the day. Let's just head straight to the fixtures to look forward to when it comes to the match day 33 of the MPFL games. So let me start off with the game on Saturday. It's going to be Wiki Tourist taking on Eyimba, Football Club on Saturday by 4 p.m. And I want to look forward to also we have Kwara United against El Kanami Warriors. We have Remo Stars Stars taking on Shooting Stars Football Club. Rangers International are going to welcome Barao. It's going to be Katsina United against Niger Tornadoes. Kano Pillars against Benden Insurance. Warri Wolves against Rivers United. We have Nasarawa United against Kun Khalifat. And on Monday, it's going to be Abia Warriors against Bayelsa United. And big game to look forward to on Monday, Plateau United against Ikorodu City. So Nuruddin, let me start off with you. Yesterday, we talked about, the running for the relegation battle. And it's going to be Wiki Tourist taking on Eyimba International. And definitely, away teams this season when it comes to the NPFL have not been able to secure, major points when going away to play football. But right now, Wiki Tourists are going to welcome Eyimba, who, are also looking to fight away from relegation. Wiki Tourists also looking to stake a claim when it comes to, for next season. For you, how do you see this game for both teams going into this game?
It's going to be an exciting encounter. Both teams have 2 or 3 points in between them on the table. But Eyimba not exactly decide to go away and get points. I think in their past 4 or 5 games, I think they have just 1 draw away from home, and that's not good enough for a team that's looking to battle relegation out. The changes in the managerial setup, the player strikes and all has affected Eyimba cumulatively this season. So that's a problem for them. And for Wiki Tourists, they have not been excellent both on the home front and away front. That is testament to their position on the table. They're 19 on the log. But this is a game they will look like at least they can get a draw out of the game. For Eyimba, this is a ground you have to eat up. These people are below you on the table.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about pedigree and resilience in the NPFL, Eyimba are miles ahead of Wiki Tourists. So this is a game.
So you're talking experience now.
I'm talking experience. Wiki Tourists are not a match for Eyimba when we put it on the paper. But
this season,
Eyimba have not been they've not been that team that we all look to and say, okay, these are the champions. This is a team that represents us well on the continental front. For me, the best result is going to be a draw for both sides, because I don't see any of them sticking enough to get the maximum points. If Wiki Tourists score a goal, I think Eyimba should have a chance of putting the ball in the back of the net. And Eyimba as well, they are not strong, like I said, on the road. Even on the home front as well, they are not that team this season. They've not been able to get themselves together. They've been hit with several bans. They play loads of their games behind closed doors, and that has not helped the team in any way or form. So this match, I think, is going to end in a draw. And both teams will just have to slot it out and get the result at the end of the day.
Now, let me just tilt to you a little bit. Talking about stats right now. The last time these two teams faced off, that was right there in Aba, and Wiki Tourists picked up the victory away from home in the home front of Eyimba, and you're wondering right now, you're coming to my own turf. You could not do that, or pick up the victory right there, your own turf. But right here, you're coming to my own place. Wiki Tourists, do you see them, doing the double against Eyimba, and how would this affect Eyimba's performance to fight off relegation?
So the thing is that these two sides, as I mentioned, they are both fighting to avoid, particularly Eyimba, they're fighting to avoid relegation. So I feel that more they themselves, they actually have, should I say, what's the word again? I feel as if they themselves, they're in a difficult position. And as Nuruddin mentioned, this was the side that used to represent Nigeria at the confederation level, at the big stage properly. But now we're not seeing that level of momentum from them. So in this particular encounter, I am tipping them to actually fighting for more, because the season is heading towards an end, and if they are not able to gather as much points as they're supposed to before the season's end, we might as well just see them back in the NNL, and the previous, and that won't be, shall I say, a good switch considering the history that they've had in the NPFL and the continental front.
All right, this is going to be a relegation battle, definitely.
Yes,
you look at honestly, you look at Eyimba 15 and Wiki Tourists, 19, and it's just funny to look at this game, and just 3 points, separating these two teams, from relegation battle. But let's move on quickly and let's talk about the Southwest Derby. And let me start off with you, Remo Stars against Shooting Stars, Football Club. And you look at the game for Remo Stars this season. They've turned things around in the late stage of the season. Maybe because they were able to get their pitch back on track, and also playing in their own with their own fans, full support. Do you see them doing this against Shooting Stars, who, just like you said, are also fighting, for a ticket when it comes to the continental scene right there? How do you see this game plan out, for the manager of Remo Stars and also Coach Nidawero? How do you see them set up to get victory, in this game?
Okay, I feel that this the performance of each side depends on the players that the coach intends to put into play, and based on the statistics, we can't particularly, if I enjoy based on the statistics, we can't particularly predict Remo Stars securing a loss or Shooting Stars securing a win when they play against Remo at their Mekene Stadium. Because in the previous match, Shooting Stars has been fantastic, as we all know, on their own turf, but when they play away, we see a different side of them. Same thing goes with Remo Stars. And as I mentioned earlier, I won't particularly say that Remo Stars have managed to turn things around, even though they secured a draw in the previous encounter. But I still believe, or I'm still open that the coach himself were able to gather some changes, or should I say,
coach or technical director?
Or technical
director. I think they all are working together. The plan is for the two of them or the entire team itself to escape relegation, because it will be unheard of to see a defending champions go straight to the second division. So I'll say that for Shooting Stars, they are also vying, and they need this win because it's as important for their aspirations to going into the CAF Financial Cup next season. But for Remo Stars as well, it is also very, very important. So as I mentioned, if Remo Stars can somehow manage to sustain or recreate that momentum that they displayed against Kun Khalifa over, their previous encounter, perhaps we can just say that this is just the beginning for them towards securing more wins and remaining in the NPFL. But if that doesn't happen, it's going to actually be a major dent in their aspirations to escape relegation. Other teams also fighting against relegations as well. So if Remo Stars do not manage, Shooting Stars are a strong team in the NPFL, but they are playing away, and I'm sure that they're going to pull off a fight against Remos as well. So Remo Stars must manage to secure a win, and Shootings as well, they are also going to fight. So it is more or less, it is tilting towards Remo Stars securing a win in this encounter. But if it is going to be the list, I'm seeing Shootings also managing to pick up a point in this encounter. But it's tilting towards Remo's side more than it's tilting to Shooting Stars.
Wait, before you go, I know smell on your face.
So my thought process right now is, Nuruddin thinking, is there a Judas in this room right now? Because, we remember Judas, betraying right now. You're wondering, as Mabuba collected bribe from Radio Paps now to, be on the side of Remo Stars. But let me ask you, I know you're a core Shooting Stars fan, Nuruddin. I want to ask you, just like she has said, are you of the opinion that maybe this might tilt to the favor of Remo Stars? And, if, Coach Nuruddin is to pick up victory away from home against, Remo Stars, the Southwest debut, how do you think he needs to approach this game tactically and technically?
The approach has to be very nice, and he has a set of players that I think win the games for him, that get the things right for him. So it's not down to fitness issues, his decision and their performance on the training ground. For the past 3 home games that I watched them play, they played fantastic well. They had Desmond and Tijani in the heart of the defense for them. And in the last game, Justice was perfect in the ready. Deputized well for Gani Falke. I think he's going to maintain his position again in the defense. And Jamiu on the other side too did a very good job. He cleared the ball well and he supported the attack. He even had an assist in the game. So that was very beautiful to see. In the midfield, we know Ayobami Junior has to play. Tijani Kabir has to be there, and Stephen Amos. Those have been the champion for him in the midfield this season. But sometimes when they go away, the coach tends to change the tactics and maybe he has a different approach to what he wants to do. But I think that's the best setup for him now. That as well for him against Rangers International. Stephen Amos was awesome, even though I had question marks about him in previous games, but that game it was perfect. He shut out the defense and shielded the defense as well as he could before he got out in the game later in the game. And up front, it's tend to favor Sadiq, who has 9 goals this season. He's in good form right now, scoring the last 3 home games. Lucky Emmanuel is also putting 1 or 2. He's very good on the ball, and Ismail is also supporting the attack. So I think the 4-3-3 formation has worked to a fault for Bruno Arena, and I think he's going to stick to that. But the personnel that's going to use to process the game are very important, because Remo Stars at home, they are very good. Last away game they went to Kun Kalifat, a place where Shooting Stars faltered when they went away and got 3-0 defeated. The Remo Stars were able to do one better and get at least a point, which is going to help their relegation fight now. So for Shooting Stars, I've mentioned, they have like a core of players that actually prosecute the games well for them. When they bring in players from the bench, players like Komara Adegoke, Kante, those are players that can switch the game for them and help them see out the game. So I think the aim for them now should be at least a point from this game. If 3 points looks like it's going to be far-fetched, I think if they get a point from this game, it's going to be a very good one for them on the road. And against the Remo Stars side, they've not won in their own front in a while. Which is have not won in Kenya in a while now. And I think it's going to be a morale boost, and it's a Southwest Derby game.
Yeah, it is.
We know what comes with it. We know the fanfare,
Yeah.
the buzz, and
The
all
buzz
that's going to go.
around
And
it,
it's Easter weekend.
Yeah.
People are going to go there to enjoy themselves. And I know the 3SC fans
will be there
will be
also.
there, so because of the proximity of the game. So it's going to be a very colorful affair and beautiful one. But for me, at least Shooting Stars should try and get a draw from this. It's going to help their ambition. But for Remo Stars, they need to get maximum points to beat the drop. They are coming up from 4 games down, 2 games unbeaten, 1 point against Kun Khalifa, 3 maximum points in the previous games, which they had to do the very hard way. But now just Shooting Stars side looking to get to the continent and put themselves in the equation for title challenge. So it's going to be a beautiful game, and I expect at least maybe a draw. So for me now, I know you are a Remo Stars. What are your expectations, and what do you think could happen in the game?
Honestly speaking, if you're talking tactics-wise, it's going to go in favor of Shooting Stars for me, because you talk about key players, in that game for Shooting Stars. You look at how they are fed and how they can put game in order going forward. You talk about the midfield maestro, 11 assists this season. Want to look forward to in that game. If you have to shut anybody out of the midfield, he should be that man. Not stringing the passes and splitting up the defense. Right there. But if it's going to work for Shooting Stars, I think they need to get the ball more to the man who's getting the goal for them. That's Victor Mbahoma. Whoever is in the midfield position needs to get the ball on time to Victor Mbahoma. Who would definitely get clear-cut chances to score. Because you look at this season for Shooting Stars, they tend to concede. For Remo Stars, but also Shooting Stars, you look at the defense line. Most of the time, they tend to concede, away from home. So definitely,
even on the home front,
also definitely the clean sheet has been difficult for them. So definitely, if whoever the technical advisor or technical coach will be putting up together, in the midfield position, need to get the ball quickly, to the man who can get the goals for them. So definitely for me, I'm going to lean on to say Remo Stars are going to pick up victory against Shooting Stars. Your prediction?
Well, I don't have particularly
I don't need you to.
I'm tipping Remo to secure all 3 points.
Remo to win.
Remo to win. But if Shooting Stars are to adopt the tactics by Awero, then it's likely that Shooting Stars might manage to secure at least a draw or a point in this encounter. But Remo Stars need the 3 points more than Shooting Stars.
Let me ask you.
Remo Stars would win, in my own opinion, because of judging by previous occurrences and what Shooting Stars have shown on the road this season. Even though might not be what I want, but I still feel Remo Stars will get the maximum points.
Okay, it looks like I promised them something on the show, so I'm wondering why there's so much support for Remo Stars.
No,
it's fine. I just remember last week you guys were not on my back supporting Remo Stars, so I'm wondering.
Even last week they were playing away.
For me, even if Remo Stars pick up maximum points this weekend, I still think there won't be the drop at the end of the season.
Okay, fine.
So I'm still sticking to my word. I'm just being factual here.
Factual, yeah, agree.
Shooting Stars are not exactly decided to back up when they are going on away on the road. The last game they went on the road, they were able to hold their opponent up to the second half, and in the first 10 minutes of the second half, they conceded 2 goals, and that was the end of the game. So Shooting Stars are not decided you stake your power on and say when they are going they're playing the Lagos Salami Stadium.
You can say something
I can say something different, but when they are going away, maybe they'll get a draw, which I think is going to be a good result for them. I don't see them stopping Remo Stars.
Okay, moving away from that, let's talk about other result quickly. Let's talk about the Rangers International game against Barao. Victory. I saw the video clips of Fidelis Elechukwu back with the boys training. Victory for Rangers International against Barao?
Well, Barao, I won't write them off. That is because in the previous encounter that Barao and Rangers faced off against each other, Barao defeated Rangers, but it was a match that was played at home. Now, Rangers will actually be hosting Barao. Well, we know that Rangers are currently second on the table, and Barao are currently 12. And Barao, their result have particularly be consistent. They've had, I think, 6 draws away from home, and they had like 8 losses. So Barao, their result when they play away from home is not particularly predictable. But considering the fact that Rangers have been a top side this season, it's more likely than not that they will be the ones securing all 3 points when they host Barao.
All right. I just want us to move quickly and let's look at the last 6 games for the fight for the title this season. The last 6 games for Rangers International, Rivers. You talk about Ikorodu City, Abia Warriors, and also Shooting Stars. If you can have that, there you have it. Nasarawa United, you have Rangers International, Ikorodu City, and also Shooting Stars Football Club. For you, you're still maintaining your stand that this fight still remains for Rivers United and also in the Go Rangers?
Yes, except something different happens this weekend. Maybe Rangers are unable to get maximum point against Barawa, and one of those teams that are chasing them get the maximum point away from home, because it seems like when Rivers play at home, Rangers play away. That has been the norm this season, and last weekend, that was evident. Rivers were at home. They were.
And Rivers is going away to
Rivers
Warri Wolves.
Going to Warri Wolves. So
Yeah.
if except there's a different dynamic when both teams, Rivers and Rangers, drop points. Maybe 2 points, or are not able to pick up maximum points in a weekend, and those that are chasing them, Ikorodu City, Nasarawa United, Abia Warriors, and Shooting Stars, get maximum points. I think that's when
That might just change the dynamic.
that might just change the dynamics of the game, because for Ikorodu City, they are just 1 point or 2 points, I think, away from the first two. So they seem closer to them, and the chasing pack to them, they're not far, but just 3 points between them. So it's not far. And if, except like I said, dismal performance from Rangers and Rivers this weekend, when both of them drop points, at least drop 2 points from the game, I don't see the dynamics changing between Rangers and International opportunity of the season.
All right, beautiful. Let's look at also the clean sheet this season. You know, I remember Puja speaking about you know, the man for Ikorodu City in Sticks, saying that he should also be given a chance at the Super Eagles. If you can have you know, that picture displayed, and you look at the stats right there, fantastic stats from Michael Atata, you know, 15 clean sheet this season. You look at Osage also with 12, Lucky Jimo, you know, Abdullahi with 12 for Rangers International, and you look at Emmanuel also for Niger Tornadoes with 12. There you have it, you know, the clean sheet in favor of Ikorodu City. I think that has helped them this season when going away from home, and giving them a chance to also say maybe we could stick our neck for the fight to the end of the season.
Well, I'll say that when it comes to a team's performance in a league or in any match that they play, it has to do with you know, the 11 players on the field of play being at the top, being at their top form, and the goalkeeper for Ikorodu City has been in top form so far. But regarding the idea of him being given a chance at the Super Eagles, I'm not going to write them off. I'm not going to write him off, because the thing is that we've been talking about the fact that, you know, most of the players that we have, we're not particularly solid when it comes to the goalkeeping position here in the Super Eagles, and we've been talking about the fact that some NPFL players could perhaps be given a chance, very few of them though, and we talk about how they haven't been particularly been exposed to top quality competitions, so as to test how suitable they are in performing, in playing for the Super Eagles. So regarding that, what Puja mentioned about giving the Ikorodu City goalkeeper a chance, it's not something that I'm going to write off. Perhaps it might start with maybe not going directly to the A team of the Super Eagles, perhaps starting with the second team. Maybe if he performs excellently well there, we can perhaps, you know, push him to the first side. Because as I mentioned, we're currently looking for individuals who can hold the sticks for the Super Eagles. Since I'm Wambali, we don't have any proper replacement for Wambali.
You even talk about since the time of Kali Keme, you know, after, you know, Eyama handed over to Kali Keme after that period, we've not had a solid.
We've been having this whole dilemma regarding the goalkeeping in Super Eagles.
Of a certain Ifeanyi Umba at that time. You know, we so many names, and it has not been proper.
It hasn't been proper, as you mentioned. That is why we don't have a number of options on ground, which is why if there is an opportunity or we spot a particular player, when we think that he might have the potential to play at the goalkeeper level for the Super Eagles, we can't just brush him away. Let's just see the kind of quality he has to offer, and see maybe if he will be the next goalkeeper, one of the goalkeepers for the Super Eagles. All
right, beautiful. And that's the update coming through from the MPFL games, and also the clean sheet from the goalkeepers of the MPFL this season after match day 32. Let's move away from that, and let's talk about NFF appointment of Akim Busari as the head coach of the under-17 girls for the Flamingos. I was wondering maybe there will be a smile on Nuruddin's face, and it's worry time. He's wondering what's going on. And let me inform you that the Executive Committee of the Nigerian Football Federation has endorsed a recommendation by the Federation Technical and Development Committee for the appointment of Coach Akim Ishola Busari as the head coach of the under-17 girls national team Flamingos. Busari's immediate task is to lead the Flamingos in the soon-to-commence race for a spot at the 2026 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup final, which will be hosted by Morocco. Let me inform you that the Flamingos are on standby to face the winner of the clash between Niger Republic and Guinea, with the first leg away from home in the third week of next month. The new Flamingos chief strategist is presently the head coach of Pacesetter Queens Football Club of Ibadan. Nuruddin, for you, what an appointment, what a way to go around it. For you, you know, what's it looking like for the Flamingos with this appointment of Coach Akim Busari?
I don't know what to look forward to from me, because his mixed feelings from me. Yes, he got a bump in his job, but judging by his antecedents, and most times a coach is as good as his last game. His last game was a loss during the week to Bayelsa Queens. He's not won a game all season long with Pacesetter Queens, and that's very worrisome. If you are bringing in a coach to lead the national team side, an age grade competition side, and his track record is not exactly what you want to see anywhere in the world. So congratulations to him, but there isn't much for me to expect from him. I just hope he gets it right and wish him good luck in his endeavors.
I think you want to cut him some slack. Do you want to agree with the appointment of Coach Akim Busari on this job for the Flamingos, or you prefer to stay because just like Nuruddin said, the antecedent has not proved him quality.
He's a coach. He's a coach that his club side are going to relegate in 3 or 4 games. It's even not even 3 or 4 games. It's rubber stamped already, and instead of castigating him, are giving him a bigger portfolio to it. So I don't understand the rationale behind that, but good luck to him, and I hope the Flamingos they saw eye under his
Okay, you see, as Nuruddin mentioned, I don't understand the rationale behind Busari being appointed, but at the same time, I'm not going to write him off, because one thing I know is that the success of a team does not depend solely on the expertise of the coach that has been appointed, but it also depends on the quality of the resources disposal.
Now, if there's a problem with the team, the coach is the first to be at the group.
Yes, he is the first, but that doesn't mean that he is the problem. We're talking about how the performance of the ladies haven't been very, very impressive. Them, about to be relegated from the NWFL. We can't particularly put the blame on him, as I mentioned. So I am not going to write him off. At the same time, I won't say I have. It's more or less I'm on the fence right now. I don't have any expectations. So it's more or less leaving this man to do his job. The previous coach that was there, even though he left, the performance at the 2025 FIFA World Cup was quite shambolic. Them getting knocked out by 4 goals to 0 by Italy. So this particular man here, we can say that the players of the pace setter queens, they are not at that top level. This was a team that was formed less than a month before. We have some players who are also currently playing. See how good he is with the caliber of players in the pace setter. Perhaps we can see what he is going to do with top players in the under 17. So it's more or less, let's just see what he's going to do. I'm not going to write him off, because I understand that the source of the team does not depend solely on the coach, but it also depends on how good these players are. So he has good players in his position. Let's just see how he's going to.
Players in the league, just like you said, that he can put up together to get victory for himself going forward. Let's move away from that and let's talk about the Nigeria Football Federation has confirmed that the Nigerian national team will face